Hello everyone and welcome to Icecrown, Warmane. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a guided talk through of how I tend to start when I hit 80 on a character. This might be useful for old players that still don't quite know what they're doing, or new players that are just new to this expansion or new to WoW in general and decided to try Icecrown as their first realm. We got 1100 gold as a start off point. That's kind of what we had after the time lapse. I sent away a couple of thousand gold so that we don't start with a massive amount. But this is kind of what we want to start at. And then we need to get some gear. And yes, I'm gonna be covering everything, professions, everything. What? All right. The first thing, the simplest way of getting some gear, there's two things. First off, you should always check auction house, but I'm not going to be doing that straight away. Because we don't have a lot of money to pay around with. I know there's a few things we can buy. There's the best bind and equip gun from ICC, which is technically a tanking gun, but it's a good stat stake and it's a good gear score. It's fairly decent as well. At least to start off with. But what we're going to do is... okay, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. I don't know. You want to get some reps done. Now, we don't have a lot done here. But if we hit Honored, which is the next one, we can get, for example, a cloak. We can get a... That's on a revered. We can get some different stuff here, right? So that's one of the things you want to do, simply because it's basically free items, you know, it's free loot. So we got to do Argent Crusade. Now I've done a lot of this in the questing that we've done thus far. We'll go and see if the bosses are up. So this quest right here, the air stand still, is fairly far out in the chain. After that, there's a few things you need to do. But there's one thing I forgot to do, and that is if you do not have max reputation, what you want to go ahead and do anyway is simply to buy the tabard. Now we're gonna get all the tabards that we need from the quartermasters at the locations pretty much everywhere. And you can you can only wear one of them at a time, so we're just gonna wear that for now. But we're just gonna leave them in the inventory. Because when you do heroic dungeons in Wrath, what am I talking about? In this expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, you get reputation towards the tabard you're wearing. So, for example, this is the tabard of Argent Crusade. You're a champion. You champion the cause of the Argent Crusade. All reputation gained in level 80 dungeons will be applied to your standing with them. So basically, when you do dungeons, you get reputation with whoever's group tabard you're wearing, basically. So it looks like the enemy or the bosses are here. If I know my luck right, I might get one of them done. And then after that, we might end up just being PvP'd, but we'll see. We'll do our best anyway. Alright, so I got two of the bosses down. The third one was already... well, I did something I'm not proud of. Third one was already being attacked by a horde player, so I killed him. I have no shame. I always mute my music and my sound because I tend to watch movies and stuff when I play. That being said, the in-game music is beautiful. Now, we've also done some quests over at the Ebon Hold, which is another faction or reputation group that you need to get some rep with. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do something that a lot of people struggle to do. But we'll see if we can find a group for POS and FOS. Now, I'm a bit low geared. Chances are we're not going to get it. But what we're going to do first is what I said I technically wouldn't do, which is we're going to take a bit of a gander at the auction house. We're going to see if there's any cheap BOEs we can buy. Now, some people might call this cheating, but this is generally what you do on this server, because there might be some really cheap pieces of gear that can get your gear score up to the point where, you know, you can actually do some stuff, which is what we want after all, right? You want to get progress. You don't want to you know, I'm here to kind of tell you guys what I do, and that is generally what I do. We're going to get a bit of an upgrade here, I think, over to a... Oh, no, it's a downgrade. It's a massive downgrade. We can get rid of that, though, because that's low on eye level. Eye level is used for getting into dungeons, heroic dungeons. So, we might want to consider getting rid of some of them. But for now, we're going to just, yeah, just let it be, really. Right. We're going to... With almost it's just above this. We're gonna go turn in this quest. We're gonna get, I don't know what rep we start with. I think it's friendly or honored with Knights of the Unblade. It's friendly. So we're only gonna get the tabard. We're not gonna tabard. We're not gonna get anything else. We're not gonna get any items from it. But as long as we have the tabard, we can always grind that reputation while we do heroics. The thing is, generally speaking, what we want to do when you get to level 80 is you wanna play it smart and get multiple things done at the same time. If you're just doing one thing, then chances are you're going to take quite a bit of while to get to the point where you can do some of the raids. We're going to get the correct one, though. We're going to use it, put it in here for now. Because we're going to need it. We're going to head over to the quartermaster over here. We're going to go over to, this is the Evanblade quartermaster. We're going to get the tabard. We got some stuff here we can get if we wanted to, but we don't want that. Over here we can get 2 one-handed weapons, should we desire those. Those are fist weapons. Well, there's only one of them, I think, but we can get those swords over here, which are fair enough. We can also get a fairly decent chest and some shoulders. So I mean that's pretty great because then we can replace our looms, which is fantastic. We need a revered though. Oh, I ended up watching or doing something I shouldn't do. So what's really going to happen right now is that I'm going to wait. Well, I'm going to fly over to Dalaran and I'm going to head over to Stormwind and I'll catch up with you guys once we're at the auction house. Because there's no point of you guys watching this. Alright, catch up to you guys when we're at the auction house. There's going to be a lot of clipping in the early stages here because we're just getting everything kind of set up. Alright, back to you in just a second. Alright, we are in Stormwind. We're quickly approaching. Oh, there we go. Got that enabled. Quickly approaching the auction house here. We're gonna head over here. So I know there's certain things that I need to look for. So first off, I know there's a gun. So we're just gonna go with that and then go. So yeah, it's 71 gold. It's nothing. It has an amazing gear score. We're just gonna buy it because we can. And there's also some one-handed swords right here. Are there only one of them? What? Okay. I'm not in global, so we'll do that. I want to buy 150G. I never thought I'd pay that much for that. It's not a good sword. Well, it's a decent kind of sword. 80/80. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with price because that's gonna dictate a lot of the things we're gonna do. So, that's almost as good as the one we can get from Revered. It's not that expensive at all. We might want to consider it. Up here, you're in so high prices, don't really matter. Keep that in mind. We're gonna head over to the leather and see if there's anything here. We can get some pants for 200 gold. That's not cheap. Well, 177 technically. It's not cheap, nevertheless. We can get some boots, but they're not good. We can get some. These are all expensive. We're gonna have to find a way to make some cash, but we want to get that at least for now. And then we're gonna go back. You can see our gold just flying away, you know. And then we're gonna go to Mist because we're gonna see if there's a cheap ring. There is 110 gold. We'll grab one of those. And we're also gonna see if there's some cheap cloth. Sash of Jordan's not really useful. We'll go with back here. That's technically for tanks, but it might be worth a shot. Simply because of the gear score here. Now, this is one of those servers where this item is not going to benefit you greatly, but because it's a high gear score. Yes. Alright, okay, load off. There we go. We haven't learned the guns yet, so we're going to have to do that. Fair enough. We're going to get some stuff out of the way here. So as you guys can see, we already got 2.5k gear score, which is not a lot, but it's better than what we have. We're also going to increase it by like 400 by simply putting on this item, but we can't do that here. We need to leave here. But what I want to do is, we are in a guild which is called Rage. Let's see if they have any open guild tabs with any gear. If you get into a guild, I suggest looking into this and maybe listen, you know, asking, could I have this item, for example, you know? It's worth an ask, because you can't get anything else than a no, and you know, it don't matter. At the end of the day, it don't matter. Is there anything in here that we might want? No, I mean, that ring would be a boost, but nothing really here that matters to us. I don't know why they filled this up. Anyhow, wasn't too much that, but that's fine. What we're going to do next, though, is we're going to head over to the tram. This is hunter specific, because we need to learn the guns. That being said, though, we need some bullets. Let's get some bullets. If I recall correctly, those are fairly cheap. Weapon projectiles? Is it under consumables, maybe? Bullets. What are they called? I know there's a thing called... Oh, they're projectile, yeah. Bullet. Ha! We can turn that away. Yeah, those shatter rounds. They're fairly expensive, but you don't use a lot of them, so we're just going to get a few. So, after learning the guns and fist weapons in Iron Forged, we headed over to FOS, which is a dungeon in southern part of Icecrown, which is pretty much a must for any new level 80, where you kill a few bosses. Now, for those wondering why I'm using Steady Shot from my thingy, my spellbook, I hadn't learned it yet, and that was pretty much it. So as you can see, the first boss is Brunjam. If you haven't done this dungeon before, I suggest that you Google what the bosses do. This boss basically puts out a corruption on one person that you need to kill. If you don't, it'll heal the boss. At 30%, he'll do the Soul Storm. If you stand in the, you know, thing going around, you're going to take damage, and then just kill the boss. It's not too special. Pretty much it. And there you go. We get our first item, which isn't really an item for us. Important to note. I just got a message. Important to note that that item is not for us. It is a caster item, but as I mentioned earlier, gear score tends to mean a lot more than it should on this server. Therefore, I'm going to pick it up because it's simply... it's going to look better. Also, it's important to note that we're going to be doing a random dungeon finder. And to do that, you need a certain item level. And that's going to help greatly with that. So, we're going to need on that. Get that on. Which is fantastic. I haven't put it on here, but anyway. Next boss, Devourer of Souls. Fairly simple boss. Just DPS the boss whenever he casts Mirror Souls. Don't attack him. And whenever he casts the beam at the end, Wailing Souls, just don't stand at the face, because he starts shooting a beam. That will kill you almost instantly. Other than that, that is Forge of Souls done. We're going to head over to Pit of Saron next. Got one item. I can't complain. It's better than what I was anticipating. And also, this group was really good. We had a tank that was heavily overgeared. So, it was fun. Anyway, let's head over to POS. So, the first boss in POS is Ick. Ick does a few abilities. He does one called Charge, which is what he did there. You can see the purple arrow above my head. When he does that, you just keep running away from the boss. So you should be good. Second ability he does is called Poison Nova. You're going to see that in a bit, where he starts charging and then releases an explosion at the bottom of his feet. Pretty much killing anyone if you're close. He also does an ability called Exploding Barrage. Just keep moving, don't get hit by the purple stuff on the ground. And his general ability is Poison Clad, which you can see on the ground around the boss. The green things, don't stand in them, and you should be great. We got a great belt from this boss, so I'm happy with that. We're going to move over to the next one, which is Garfrost. It's a really simple boss. Watch your stacks, which is next to your minimap. When they get high enough, you start taking a lot of damage. Just hide behind the Saronite or LOS the boss so that it resets and you should be good. Tank and Spank fight, we didn't get any drops from it, but it was fun. Scourge Lord Tyrannis. Fairly simple fight. Hoarfrost is something he's going to cast on a target. Simply don't stand next to that target. It's a snow patch on the ground, which you're meant to tank the boss around if you're low geared. He also does a thing called Overlord's Brand. If the DPS get that, the DPS will do damage to the tank. If the healer gets it, the healer will heal the boss. And there you go. I got the Hoarfrost on me, and that's fine. And then you get an ability called Ice Shock, which is gonna root you in place. It bugged for some reason, or Ice Blast rather. But fairly simple fight. Just pay attention to the Overlord's Brand. Don't stand in the snow, and you're good to go. That's about it on this fight. Again, you can see my DPS is horrendous, but as is life, we clear a bit of Saron, and we get a fantastic neck and a fantastic head. Both of them brilliant for me. And that is POS. So after POS, basically just did a load of RDF dungeons. And I mean a lot of RDF dungeons. It was fairly fun. It's the best way to get EOTs, which we're going to use to buy our equipment later on with. Now we're getting to the end portion where there's a bit of grinding, and this was done over like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, where I just logged on every now and again. I got an extra ring, for example, stuff like that. I'm not going to point out every single piece I get because there's just too much footage to go through. But we did a lot of these bosses, and they're fun. I like doing random dungeons. I do enjoy it quite a bit. We're getting up to how we're getting the final pieces kind of set in. So this is one of the things. Do RDFs. You get EOTs, which you can buy you can buy equipment from a vendor in Dalaran. Also, a thing you can do, which I'm doing in between RDFs, is learning professions. I chose skinning and leatherworking so I can make myself some equipment. In hindsight, I probably should have just gone skinning mining for the extra money. But I leveled all this up while doing RDFs. So if you're wondering why I suddenly have leather and stuff like that in my inventory, that is the reason. Get some professions and do it while you're doing RDFs. It's the most efficient way of doing stuff like this. And just have fun. RDFs and stuff like this is all about having fun. So yeah, that's about it for this step. Is just do the RDFs, get some professions, and get some money. We'll get more into detail about some of this later. But if you want a specialized guide on how to make money and stuff like that, that's a different thing altogether. This is more of a general how do I do it to get up to the ICC TOC standard. Anyhow, let's move over to the next point on our agenda here. So the next part of what you want to do is find an ICC rep group. There's a reason why though you want that, because in ICC you can get a reputation ring. You get reputation by simply killing the mobs in ICC, which is the end game of this patch. And that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're going to be just sitting here killing mobs, getting reputations. You can see, if you in the lower left chat box, you can see a blue line every now and again that says reputation increased with the Ashen Verdict. That's what we're looking for. As well, on the right hand side, you can see a little bar that's slowly filling up with yellow. That is the reputation meter. When that hits the max, we get friendly, and that's when we're done, because we only want to get the ring. We don't want to get the exalted ring. I mean, you can do that. I just find it to be a bit of a waste of time. I tend to just do that when I do ICC later on, when you're geared enough anyway. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be quickly going through all of these. This took me roughly 30-40 minutes, I think. And you get a really good ring. I mean, really good ring. Um, and that's about it. Find a group. There's lots of these groups. Look in global channel. Find a group. Looking for ICC rep farm. Join them. Chill out. Watch some music and do it. And that's about it. So yeah, as you guys can see here, we get our ring. A fantastic piece of equipment. Anyway, onwards to the next task. Okay, so now we are in the later stages of the game. We've been doing RDFs, and we've gotten a lot of different things from RDF. We now have a generally good gear score at around 4.9k, I think, if I recall correctly. And we are doing the Battered Hill quest. One of those dropped for me in FOS POS one day. So I'm just sitting here waiting for the tab, but I'm actually at 5k. Now, when you get to 5k, and 5k is something you get by simply just doing RDFs. If you just do RDFs, buy EOT items from the vendors, you're gonna get 5k gear score, naturally. As well as you're gonna get items from FOS, POS, and HR Heroic. Those three you always want to run. Every day you want to run them. I didn't do that, unfortunately. Again, this is 3 weeks later than the original first part of this video was recorded. But when you get to 5k, your daily kind of tasks change. So you always want to do your first RDF because you get Emblems of Frost, which is great. You always need Emblems of Frost. Then you want to do weeklies. You want to do VOA 10 and 25 man. And you want to do you want to try and get into raids. You also want to do the weekly Dalaran quests, which tends to be kills Satharian, because that's what people want to do. But do the weeklies. That's basically how you're going to get to like 5.2, 5.3k, which is when you can enter ICC and alt runs. And there you go. We killed the Frost boss, and nothing dropped for me that week. However, the week before this, I'm just going to pause it here while we're at the Battered Hill quest. The week before it, I got a hand for the hunter, which is 264, which is really good. That's ICC. That is end game equipment. I just got that. Luckily, I didn't receive the footage. It corrupted itself somehow. But it was so weird because there was other hunters that didn't roll on it. But it might sound weird that I'm saying it's just T9s. That's all you need. Legit, the only things that I've bought that or bought or got that is different from the default things you get from doing RDFs and doing FOS, POS, HOR Heroic is I got the Battered Hill quest, which I'm currently doing. I haven't completed it yet, which is gonna buff me slightly. It's like a 50 gear score buff. I bought some boots. That's BOE that leather workers make. I grinded for that for 2 weeks simply by doing a bit of skinning every day and then selling the leathers and then buying it for 5k gold. And then the final thing is was it only those two things? Yeah, it was only those two things. I do have I got lucky with a hand start, so we can kind of call that as a third. Other than that, my character right now is exactly where you need it to be to start entering TOC rating and to enter ICC rating. Are you 5k? You can get lucky and you can get invited into a group if you know what you're doing. If you don't know that much what you're doing, you want to get 5.3, 5.4k. The only way to get that is through EOFs and through VOA. Those are essential to do. If there's any of this terminology that you're confused of, let me know. If there's anything you are unsure about, just simply Google it. It's such a simple answer to everything, but it really does work. Now, this is a very quick guide. It's only 20 minutes, and this is covering everything that I think you need. But I'll do a quick rundown. Okay, a quick rundown about what's needed for you. Once you hit 80, you need to get rep farms. To do rep farms, you need to go to Ebonhold, Argent Vanguard, different different factions in what's it called? In Northrend. You want to get their tabards, you want to do RDFs, that way you get reputation with them. If you can't do RDFs yet, simply do the quests in that area. You're going to get reputation with them, you're going to get free items. That's your way to get into RDFs. Okay, so do reputation quests until you got enough gear that you can enter random dungeon finder heroic, and simply spam it. Spam it like you mean it. Once you're done with RDFs, you're going to have a lot higher gear score simply by boss drops and also from FOS, POS, and HOR Heroic. As soon as you start getting a lot of Emblems of Triumph, you want to start investing in T9 set pieces. The way to do that is simply find your merchant in Dalaran. The leather and mail merchant is to the east, southeast of Dalaran. The plate is to the northwest, next to the Horde Bank. And the cloth is to the southwest, just outside of the entrance to the Alliance portals. If you're wondering exactly where they are, simply Google it. You'll find it really easily. You want to buy the set pieces there. You don't want to buy the PvP set pieces. You want to buy the PvE ones, unless you're intending to do PvP. Do the RDFs. You're going to get better gear. Do FOS, POS, and HOR Heroic every day until you have every piece in there that you need. Once you got all of those, you can stop doing them and only do one RDF per day to get the Emblems of Frost. Now you're getting progressively into the end game. This is where you want to start doing TOC if you can. VOA is a must. And also your weekly Dalaran quest. You can get them outside of the Violet Citadel. Or the Violet Hold, I think it's called. Simply look for groups. Find groups that's doing it. And that is the way to go. And good luck. If there's any questions, I can answer them in the comments. If you want me to get more in-depth in certain aspects of this, let me know in the comments below. I will try and do so. This was just a general tips. Hopefully some of you may feel that it helped. If not, then I'm sorry. Good luck on your gearing. And hopefully I'll see you guys in ICC. Alright, good luck guys.